on this week's episode, my mom and Amanda are going to talk about PSSAs. All right, I'm done.
All right, so let's talk about what parents actually get back. So after like 8 to 10 hours of testing over many school days, what do parents actually receive back when the results come in?
So you're a parent, your kid's in 3rd grade, you want to know, when am I going to find out how they did and what am I going to get? So the next year, when your student is in 4th grade, you'll get those results from their 4th grade teacher.
Are you serious? You take the test in like April, May, and parent results don't go back until like September, October?
Right. You usually get them either at back to school night or your first report card conferences.
Oh my God, that's like out of sight, out of mind.
Yep. Now they have just migrated the PSSA. I know in Philadelphia this year, they're going to take it online. So before, you had to take it in like a book with like a scoring sheet, and then mail those somewhere, and they have to scan them. So they don't have to do any of that anymore. So maybe
it's faster.
It'll be faster.
Maybe I would hope there's like a portal now,
and maybe you can check it over the summer as a parent.
Okay, so what kind of what do the results tell you? Like when you get that piece of paper, or if you log into that portal, what do you see?
So you're going to see, one, your overall scores. We're just going to stick to ELA and math for right now. You're going to see your overall score. Did you score below basic, proficient, or advanced? And the real push is that you want all of your students scoring proficient or advanced. You know, that's the dream.
Anything below that is a red flag.
Yes.
And you have to do something.
Right. Like if your child is scoring basic in ELA, that means they are not on grade level. And even if they're scoring proficient in ELA, that means they're on track, but can they apply what they know? So like they seem on grade level right now, but when that difficulty, like in math, like we talked about in our middle school math readiness, as that starts to ramp up, will they stay on grade level?
Yeah, it just snowballs. Okay, so you get 2 labels, one for reading, one for math, below basic, proficient, and advanced. Is that information any more detailed?
So you can get an individual student report.
Okay.
And that'll give you an idea of how your student did across the dimensions of those tests. So in ELA, we're talking about things like vocabulary, comprehension, the text-dependent analysis.
Some of the like substandards, some of the like columns of skills.
Right. And the same thing in math. You'll get a breakdown. So you might see that your child got proficient in comprehension, but got basic on their text-dependent analysis. So they can understand the text, but it's not translating to their ability to explain what that text says or to analyze it in any meaningful way.
Right. So in your thought, because like your kid's going to take the PSSAs in a couple years. Right. What do you think those reports are? And you've seen plenty of those reports for like your kids in the past. What do you think those reports are missing for parents that you wish was on those reports?
I really wish that they were more detailed in terms of like, what does this mean your student knows and what should they be able to do? Like there should be a look for it. Like your child scored proficient across the substandard of vocabulary. What this means, they have acquired these vocabulary related skills. Mm-hmm. As a parent, what should you see? You should see that they're able to do X, Y, and Z, and then there should be a what comes next. Mm-hmm. So I would like to see those further broken down into those 3 sort of lines of thought, because I think that would be a lot more actionable for parents.
So like if a parent asks, what should I do differently tomorrow with my kid, is the test going to answer that?
No.
So why is the system, why is the test like this again?
So the test is like this because when they were originally designed, so the PSSA, as I mentioned, was piloted in 1992. And before that, at least at my school that I grew up going to in southwestern PA, we took the California Achievement Test. And then there was this sort of shift to the PSSA in the 90s, but it was always meant to be an accountability tool at the system level. So looking at like all of the students in a district, looking at groups of students in the district, and thinking about why those large scale disparities or changes or trends might exist.
Yeah. There's a lot of data it's a double-edged sword. I feel like there's a lot of data and statistics about education in America today that would not exist if we didn't have, for better or worse, tests like the PSSA.
Right.
Like you can't know, like you can't have data unless you go out and get it. And unfortunately, with education, there's only one way to get the data. So like there's only one way for a state to know if their educational system is working.
Right.
And you got to test. And who do you got to test? You got to test the kids.
And I think, from the 90s to like 2001, that was fine. That's how it was working. It was just we give this test to kids. We look at this level, what changes we need to make, or where we may need to allocate resources as a result of these scores, and that was it.
Yeah.
So then in 2001, we had the shift because of No Child Left Behind to where now we had these unfunded mandates where essentially your school was required to show a certain amount of growth on this test, that like your students are improving every year because of the work you are doing. And then it became sort of like scorecards for schools, and now schools get ranked by it. And so we shifted in 2001, we shifted the way that we used these tests from systems level accountability. Now it's looking at children.
Yeah.
And is this child making growth? Are all the children making growth? And now we're looking at it on a far more individual level, which it was never designed to really do.
So that's good. It illuminates system-wide proficiencies and deficiencies so that they can be fixed. Yes. And it sounds like it's moving in the right direction, or in a direction of being more individualized and more honestly practical for like a teacher and a parent to use. So okay, you mentioned like some kind of strength profile. What was that report called again?
So there's the individual student report.
The individual student report,
which provides a strength profile of your student based off of the substandards for both the subcategories for ELA and math.
Okay. Is a student strength report in parent-friendly terms? Like when a parent gets it, are they like, oh, I understand everything now? So what?
I wouldn't say that.
So like, there's more information on the page. Is it just more information on a page? Like, how does that benefit a parent?
Well, like you might know, for example, let's talk about math. You've got 4 subcategories: numbers, algebraic reasoning, geometry, and data analysis. So say your student is proficient in 3 of those and basic in 1, or advanced in 2 of them and proficient in 2. You have an idea of where they're performing well and where they aren't. But if you are not a math teacher, if you don't really clearly remember your own math education, when they say geometry, you're like, yeah, shapes,
squares.
But like, what does your child in their grade have to do within that subcategory to be proficient? You have no idea.
Yeah, just taking that geometry example, there's probably like 11 substandards in geometry, and that's in every grade. Like when geometry shows up,
there's a lot of substandards.
There's a lot of substandards. So it just says geometry. So parents get more information, which is great, but that's it. So in a way, it's no better than before, because like if you get this report and you have more information and you don't do anything with it, Like, you might as well have not gotten the report at all.
You do get year over year, so you can tell, is my child improving
this is
on
true.
this test?
It does log growth
Change
over
over
time. Yeah.
Which is good.
Which is very good, because if a student is not growing over time, then somebody should be freaking out.
Right. Like even if your student isn't doing as well as they would like on the test, as long as they're growing, like you're like, all right, well, you're getting better. You're putting in the effort. You're growing each year. We might need to do a little more work to grow at a faster rate, but at least you're on the trend you want to be on.
Yeah. So, okay, we got more information on the parent report, but like, honestly, that's still not incredibly useful, because if you have more information and don't do anything about it, what was that extra information even for? So, like, if you, like, in your 5th grade class, and if you could have the parents of your kids, take the best advice, what would you tell the parents of your students? Like, hey, when you get your PSSA test results back, this is what you should do. Like, don't just look at them and be like, oh, stick them on the fridge. Like, what should a parent do? Like, a parent who wants to do something,
right?
Something little, something big, what should they do? What's their next step?
So some advice: when you get these results, your child will now be with a new teacher. If they're in middle school, they might be with several new teachers. You might be in a new building. So you want to get the insight into how they're doing so far this year. Now, part of the problem will be that this new teacher maybe hasn't taught all of the skills that are on that strength profile yet. So they might not have, if you're starting the year in 5th grade with number fluency, I don't have insight into how your student did last year in geometry, because I haven't taught that. So I don't really know what they're coming in with yet. I can tell you what they're doing in number fluency, and I can tell you how that might play out in geometry in 5th grade. If you're in the same building, the best advice I would give you is go talk to that teacher from last year. See if they've got a couple minutes to spare for you, and hey, look, I got these results back. Is there any insight you can give me into what you remember from last year that I can use to help my child this year? I think just that simple conversation would go a long way.
Just going in and being like, these are the scores. How can I help my kid in any area where they just needed maybe a little boost?
There are two
or just like a learning gap, because like learning gaps happen.
They do.
And you don't find out about them until
skill gaps,
and still stuff starts going over your kid's head.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, learning gap.
Like a tiny skill gap, right? From, say they're going from 4th grade to 5th grade, and they really struggled with the introduction of fractions in 4th grade, and that impacted a portion of their PSSA score in 4th grade. Their 4th grade teacher is going to know that best. There are 2 other people generally in a building that may also have insight, that work with students across all of the grades in that building. And that's if you have a school-wide math lead or math specialist, and a school-wide reading lead or literacy specialist. So I know with my son, early in the year, we met with the principal. We were having a misalignment between his original assigned teacher and the one he is with now. And we were talking about how bright he is, and one of the things on the table was, well, would it make sense to skip him a grade? That maybe he would get more out of like an amazing 3rd grade teacher if there's not a 2nd grade teacher that's a good fit for him. He's one of the oldest kids in his grade. His birthday is September 2nd. He missed the kindergarten cutoff by a day. He definitely reads at this level. He does math. He could, I think he'd get there in math. Maybe that's an option. And the literacy lead actually gave me like a ton of supplementary things to do with him to get him ready for 3rd grade, because 3rd grade is really important for the PSSAs in Philadelphia for one very specific reason that I will talk about shortly.